This is Louise Green for MMA Crazy, and I'm joined with one half of the UFC Stockholm main event, Anthony Smith. How are you doing?
I'm good. I'm enjoying my time here.
Yeah. When did you arrive? You're a little bit late. Can you talk about your experience this morning?
I got here Tuesday morning, and it's 8 hours difference from where I live. So my days and nights are just a little bit backwards. So I'm kind of like up all night and then sleep all day. So I'm just a little bit backwards.
And we mentioned before, obviously, we spoke to you back in Hamburg. So what's it like having to adjust when you go to, say, Europe, for example? What are the differences like? How do you adjust?
There's really, as much as you want to try to control it, there's really not a lot you can do to adjust. You just got to let yourself just sleep when you can, So the first couple of days are tough just because you got to try to get as much sleep as you can, but those are usually our busiest media days. So it's a little bit of an adjustment, but I'm getting plenty of sleep. It's just not at the right times.
And talk about then this matchup with Alexander Gustafsson. I know obviously after your loss to John Jones, you said you wanted some time out. So can you talk a little bit about how this came about?
I really like the fight, and I think for a person like myself, I think I need it. I need to get that bad feeling out of my stomach, and I need to put in a performance that I'm proud of before I can really take a rest. And that's what it comes down to. I do need a break, but I was never going to actually relax coming off of a fight like that. So that's a lot of it. Is I just need to put in a performance that I can be proud of so that I can take a real break.
And you've had time to reflect on that loss now. What do you take away from that? What did you learn?
I don't think just how crappy the sport can be sometimes, I think everyone can relate to having a bad day at work, and mine was just in front of millions of people, and it's the only time it's ever happened to me. So, I'm sure that there's some sort of lesson that I've taken from that I'll take with me moving forward. But right now, I think that I'm just so disappointed in it that I haven't really allowed myself to really process those. I'm obviously disappointed, and I felt like I gained a lot in the training camp, and I definitely learned I don't want to feel like that again. So I'll definitely do everything I can to avoid it.
What do you think you could have done better, looking at it now?
Just show up, honestly, and just perform, and that's all I've thought about and talked about this entire training camp, getting ready for this fight. It's about performing. It's nothing to do with anything else. I just want to show up, and I just want, I haven't thought about the win or the loss or the title or the rankings. None of that stuff matters to me. I just don't care. I just want to go in and I want to march across the octagon, and I want to throw hammers, and that's it. And I want to leave here feeling better than I did when I got here.
And then talk about the matchup with Alexander Gustafsson. He's obviously gone against John Jones twice and came up short both times. How do you feel you match up against Alexander?
I think stylistically it's a good matchup for me. He's very, very good. He's very technical. His movement is phenomenal. His boxing is probably some of the best boxing in the entire UFC, not just the division, probably the entire UFC. But I think that he's a little bit limited in the other parts of the game. He doesn't kick a whole lot. He's not a huge offensive wrestler.
So he hasn't been as active in the past 3 years. This is your fourth straight main event in 15 months or so. So do you think that will give you some kind of advantage on Saturday night?
I do. I think that I'm much more familiar with the process of fighting. Like the training camps and I don't know how. I don't know how active he is in between fights, how much he trains, but, he's definitely not in fight camp in between, so he's making a pretty quick turnaround this time, though. So he's in a better place than he has been in the last 3 or 4 years. So I don't expect him to have too much ring rust or anything like that.
And how important is this fight for you in terms of getting yourself back into the title picture? Do you hold a lot of importance over this fight? No. It has nothing to do with the title. It has nothing to do with the rankings. It doesn't even have anything to do with the win. I don't even care about that. This is about the performance. I think I've spent so long just so focused on the prize that I think I've lost track of the process a little bit. So
I got into this sport because I love the action of fighting. But then everyone else puts so much weight on everything else that, it almost like it distracts you a little bit from actually what I love about the sport. And that's all I focused on is just going in and just putting in a performance I can be proud of. And that's all I want to do. Like I said before, if I went in and I won all, the first 4 rounds and I'm performing and I'm doing what I want to do and I'm just, just kicking his ass and then something crazy happens at the end, fuck it, I'm good with it.
So what can the fans expect to see from you on Saturday, and how do you think the fight unfolds?
I think they're going to expect a little bit of the old me, ultra aggression, and just someone who's not handcuffing himself with a game plan, and just going in there and just reacting and being instinctual. And I think that's when I'm at my best. I think that's one of the most dangerous. I'm in a very similar mindset to when I fought Shogun, where I just don't care about the end result. I just want to go in and I want to show up and I want to do what I know I'm capable of. And I think if I do that, I'm not saying that I don't care about winning, because obviously I want to win. I'm super competitive, but if I focus on the performance, everything else will come, and I'll get the prize that I want.
And a fight that I'm sure you're going to have your eyes on would be Thiago Santos and John Jones. You've obviously gone against both of them. How do you think that unfolds?
I don't know. I think Thiago Santos has a chance to beat anybody. I think I was quoted the other day saying if he got a clean shot on an elephant, he could put it down. That dude's powerful. He's explosive. He's just such an athlete, and he believes in himself, and that means a lot when you're fighting John Jones. I just hope that if he wants to be successful, that confidence and that belief has to carry through to the fight. But John Jones is a tall task, especially for someone that has a hole in his ground game like Thiago does. I think that's going to be a problem if he doesn't shore that up, and I'm not sure if there's enough time to close that gap.
Okay, well, we look forward to seeing your fight this weekend in Stockholm. Thank you very much.
I'll see you at the post-fight press conference.